Today I'm going to show you how positive crankcase ventilation systems work on your car's engine. Now during combustion, some of the gases from the high pressure side could sneak by those compression rings and end up down into the crankcase. Now those gases are going to increase the pressure inside of the crankcase near the bottom half of the engine here. Then it could start blowing out seals like your crank seal or the valve cover gasket. Or even worse, the rear main crank seal, which would require you to take out the transmission in order to fix it. So to fix that, we got a valve and a couple of hoses until you see the detriment that this thing causes, so stay tuned. Now this is a turbocharged engine, so there's going to be a lot more ductwork going on, but essentially the air is going to come in down at the bottom here to the throttle body. That's going to control the amount of air and vacuum inside of this air intake plenum that's going to distribute it to the 4 cylinders. Now this engine, the positive crankcase ventilation valve, is inside the valve cover at this connection over here. Remember, inside the valve cover is ventilated directly to the crankcase through the oil drain backs. Then we've got our hose that's going to dump that air directly into the air intake at this connection here. Now the fresh air breather hose is on the other side of the valve cover here, and that will go directly to the air filter. Take a look at how our PCV system works. Essentially, we've got our air intake over here, which is going to bring in fresh atmospheric air after the air filter. It's going to pass by the throttle body and then go into the air intake plenum. Now if that throttle body is mostly on the closed position, we're going to build up a lot of vacuum here. Now during its combustion stroke, some of those gases are now going to sneak by those piston rings and end up with pressure inside the crankcase down here. Now in order to relieve the pressure inside of the crankcase, we have a breather hose, and that's attached to the air intake box, bringing in fresh air at atmospheric level to the crankcase. Now in order to push some of that air out, we've got a PCV valve that's connected to the vacuum side of the air intake plenum, and that's going to use vacuum to control the airflow going through the crankcase in order to push it back into the engine to get burned. That's just there because of emissions. You have to reburn it. You can't just toss it out the window. So without further ado, let's take the valve cover and this air intake off so we can see what's inside. Now take a look at those intake runners. They're pretty gummed up with a lot of carbon. Doesn't look that good inside of there either. Check out the back of that throttle body. Dirty little throttle body that is. For 110, that's pretty bad. Now this is a more premium model, so it's got these tumble flow control valves, but if you take a look on the inside there, you'll see that port, and that port is where the PCV system is going to dump all of its oily air into this intake. Now as your RPMs increase, the vacuum decreases, and that's going to open up the PCV valve to allow more airflow to come in and bring that oily air into this intake plenum. Now if that PCV system is not separating enough oil from the air, you'll see carbon buildup like this on the intake. This is a direct injected engine. Take a look inside the intake. It is absolutely nasty. Here you can see the direct injection rail. It directs fuel down into the head directly and not into the airstream to wash all this crap off. I'm going to remove some 10mm bolts from the valve cover. I notice also it's a Hyundai and Kia valve cover only. There's no Genesis markings on here as well. I also like this oil cap that you can never over torque. Now the valve covers where the magic's at. This is our breather and this is our PCV side over here. That valve looks like it's plastic and I can probably screw it off. And apparently these valves are super cheap to replace. They are a piece of plastic with a check ball inside. And you can do the shake test and you'll hear that this one has a check ball that's moving freely. Now when your vehicle is at idle, your throttle body is in its near closed position. You got lots of vacuum inside of the air intake. Now you don't want to open up the PCV valve because that'll bring you a vacuum leak after the mass airflow sensor on the air intake side. So as a result, the PCV valve is closed. You also don't have that much blow-by gases as this piston is moving up and down pretty slowly as well to ventilate. However, once you start hitting it and you go into load, this throttle body is now going to open up. You don't have that much restriction anymore and your vacuum drops. Therefore the PCV valve is going to start to open up quite a bit because you got a lot more blow-by gases going through here and you want to ventilate that, and that's going to push through the PCV valve and then back into the engine to get burned. So essentially the PCV valve is using the amount of vacuum to control the airflow between the fresh air side and the stinky air side going back into the engine. Now let's say you got a high boost car and you got lots more pressure inside the intake plenum. Well, you don't want that boost to go down inside the PCV system, so it also acts as a one-way valve to prevent that boost from going into the crankcase. Now this check valve is the main part of the PCV system. It's basically going to allow flow to only go in one direction, and it's going to close up when there's too much vacuum on this side. You can do the shake test. And you'll hear that the ball inside of there is nice and loose. That means it's not carbed up. Now inside this glory hole over here, it leads to an entire baffle system inside of here with a hole over here. This whole thing is kind of plastic welded together. I wonder if I could take it apart. Now the top side also has this piece that's welded on. Alright. Easy. Sometimes it's good that Hyundai makes cheap stuff. It's easy for me to take it apart. So here's a look at how the ventilation side of things work. Essentially, we've got our vacuum that's going to be sucking oily air from under the valve cover and the crankcase up into this baffled area over here. We've got a bunch of these little holes here, and the idea there is to let the oil droplets kind of fall back into the valve cover. The rest of that air is going to be sent up into this area over here. After the holes, it's then going to go through this little maze over here where it's going to drop down into this large cylinder and then get sucked up back through a smaller cylinder, again allowing things to sort of settle at the bottom, and then shoot out through this area here where it's going to go through these 3 slots. Back underneath the valve cover, those 3 slots are going to bring in the air into this section where we've got this little emergency flap on this side and here. Looks like it's a one-way valve where if it's got vacuum, it's going to close itself off, but if it doesn't have vacuum, it'll just push its way through and ventilate back into the valve cover. We'll then come through this section over here where it's going to go through the PCV valve itself. Now you got to remember that all these little baffles, these little holes, the slots, it's basically there to help the oil to condense down, drop into the valve cover, because you want as least amount of oil to enter the PCV system so you don't clog up the intake. Obviously, lots of these systems don't work as intended, and eventually they make the car end up burning the oil, putting it back into the intake, clogging up our intake valves, and especially with direct injection, that does not work very well. Now, surprisingly, on the breather side here, we've also got some kind of baffle thing going on. So let's see if this one comes off just as easily. So here's our fresh air intake coming from the air box, and there's still a labyrinth of things inside of here. The reason is if you've got excess pressure built up inside of here, there's something wrong with the PCV system. You wouldn't want it venting back out to the air filter or clogging that up now, would you? So here we've got fresh air coming in through here. It's going to pass by these couple of valves that are here, then head through these slots. It'll then come to the top side over here where we had this piece. The air is going to head in through the middle over here and then back around to the cylinder over here, and then back over to these couple of slots on this side, and we come back over to the back side here, and that's where our air inlet's going to be. So here we've got air in and air out. You'll see that the PCV side is the dirty side because it's taking dirtier air out as opposed to fresh air coming in from our air filter. Now if you got an engine with multiple heads like a V or a Boxer configuration, they'll put the breather on one side and then they'll put the PCV system on the other side, and this PCV system is the reason why one side is going to be more tarnished than the other side. Here's a tip: once in a while, come in with your brother's toothbrush and clean out your angle grinder. Alright, I'm going to cut this PCV valve apart so we can see what's inside. Cut my vice grip by accident. Bro, I burnt this thing off. Taking a look inside of this PCV valve, we got this piece here which I call a pinto. It's got a wedge shape to it. There used to be a return spring in there, but it kind of got mashed up when I cut this apart. Essentially, this little pinto is the thing that's going to move back and forth inside of here. Now when you got lots of vacuum applied on this side here, such as at low load, it's going to kind of push up over here and seal off the area between the housing here and this wedge shape, not allowing any gas to flow through. But when you got less vacuum, it's going to kind of relax itself back a little bit and allow air to flow from the input to the output to ventilate the crankcase. So you can see how vital the design of this little piece is to ventilate the crankcase, but also to work with air pressure in the intake. One little change, like some extra boost on your turbocharger, and you could put too much pressure on this guy and not ventilate enough. Here's a valve cover from the QR25. We've got breather on this side and PCV over on this side. The breather doesn't have any baffles on it. Surprised you don't need a ratchet to get it off. This one's nice and free as well. Inside of here you can see the pintle is very free to move around, and it's very springy when you push on it. Let's cut this one open. Pinto's still there. There we go. You can pop it out. Got a return spring on it. Nobody else home. Now the pinto floats around there pretty easily at atmospheric pressure, and that's why we can rattle it around, and that's fine because it'll ventilate if there's no vacuum. Once we start to draw vacuum on it, it's going to push up against the housing and lock it off against that wedge shape, but we do have that return spring to push it back into place once the vacuum is gone, because you wouldn't want to have a stuck PCV valve. It's a cheap part, so make sure you get a good one with the proper return spring for your vehicle. Now the breather side is free, but I want to see what's inside of this PCV side. So I broke off all the plastic. By the way, if you want to change spark plug tube seals, you got to break off all this plastic. Such a stupid design. Anyways, you can see all the PCV baffling inside of here. The PCV valve is over here, and the intake sides are over here, and you'll see to cross over there's also these little dots. Again, that's to help the oil sort of condense and drain back. Now, PCV valves and oil air separators don't have to be on the valve cover. They could be right down at the bottom of the engine here, next to the crankcase itself, where the vapors emit from. Here's a 2022 Volkswagen Taos 1.5 liter turbo engine, and we've got the oil air separator here, which is quite the bulk. It's even got a plug on it because, you know, Volkswagen. Let's take off all these T30s and see what's inside. Whew. That was dusty. Oh my goodness, look at the sludge in there. So how this works is we got oily air from the bottom of the engine. It's going to pass through a bunch of these little labyrinths. Essentially, air is going to start from the bottom near here. It looks like it comes in through this baffle area, which goes up this way. But you've also got this little motor over here that powers something where it comes out this way. Boy, is it sludgy inside of here. This is really bad. Now, sludge happens when that vapor from inside of the engine kind of condenses down and forms sludge. This is really bad because it could block oil passages if it gets inside the actual engine itself. It's funny because the sludgiest side here is the cleanest side over here. And this engine had a whopping 190,000 kilometers on it. It's already sludged up. These T30s. Ew, an O-ring here and a spinny thing. Taking a look at what's going on inside of here. First of all, this is an electric motor. These things here are the field windings that are going to lead up to the plug, and then we've got the permanent magnet for it over here. Now inside of here we have a gyroscopic flinger, I'm going to call it. Now essentially how this works is this is going to rotate. We've got air that's going to come in through here, and through centrifugal gyroscopic motion it's going to fling that oily air to the outside, hopefully allowing that to kind of settle down back into the engine and bring cleaner air up through the top part over here. Damn, this is a lot of carbon. Kind of makes you wonder if this thing actually works. You'll see what hammering does for me here. Hopefully I don't get stuck. Here we go. Ew. Alright, so check this out. It's more than I thought. We've got turbine fins inside of here. As this is rotating, it's going to suck air inside from the bottom of this casing over here and come into this housing, which is made up of multiple fins. You'll see it's actually spring loaded, so as this pushes back here, the air is going to come in through these little fins over here, hopefully capturing some of that oil, and then it'll flick to the outside over here, where it's going to make its way to the top to exit as cleaner air back into the block. Talk about complexity. Leave it to the Germans to make a really complicated oil air separator that doesn't even work. We're not done yet, so let's take apart this little mechanism. Take it off here. This actually looks to be a PCV valve setup. Let's see if I can split it open real quick. There we go. Taking a look inside of here is very simple. We've got air that's going to come in through here. It's going to hit this baffle and go down inside of this diaphragm. The diaphragm is like your one-way valve. It's only going to open up when there's not that much vacuum applied to it, and that's what's going to allow the PCV vapors to escape. See if I can open up the diaphragm setup inside of here. Taking a look at this diaphragm, we've got this rubber piece and this return spring. Now under normal pressure, this is going to sit like this, and it's going to allow the air from the outside here to go and pass through the middle here and then exit out through here. Now once you start to apply a little bit of vacuum, this diaphragm is now going to start to get sucked in, and that's going to block off that exit hole in the center, and you can no longer have any airflow between the two. Now a lot of older Volkswagens used to integrate this diaphragm setup in the valve cover plastic itself. That's not a really great idea because these diaphragms used to tear a lot. Then you'd have to replace the whole valve cover. There were some setups where you could just replace the diaphragm alone, and that would be fine, but having it separate like this is even better. And that's a look at the Positive Crankcase Ventilation system on your car and how it works. Now if your car is built after the 60s and it's not an electric car, you definitely have one of these in your car, and in order to prevent it from getting clogged up, you should check it once in a while. Give it the old shake test. If it's a little carved up, you can probably clean it out. Now if your PCV valve's going bad or it's stuck, it's going to cause your car to run really rough, or if it's stuck open, it's going to burn a lot of oil and dump all that into your intake, which is not great for your valve. Now you can pressure test the PCV system, but hey, this is a $5 part that could cause you expensive rear main seal and carbon buildup issues down the road, so might as well just change it out. Now I want you to tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think of the PCV system? Have you had one that had any issues, clogged up on you, or maybe had one get stuck in the valve cover if it broke off? And subscribe for more videos.